Okay, just give me a second. Give me a second. Slapping the keyboard if you can't hear. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. What up? What up, everyone? Yo, what up? What up? I see everyone in chat. We're about to get in the spreads. Today is a perfect damn day to go over some spreads, by the way, because we hit both sides too. My dog's going to be annoying as hell for a second. I might have to move to the couch. He might not want me on the desk, if you can hear. He is angry. Give me 1 second. He is not a happy camper. Oh boy. The dogs are angry. They are pissed. Hold on. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Un momento. Un momento. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. We have to move our spot because I know my dog is going to be pissed. So I'm just going to move. If you guys watch me live, one of my doggies is never happy when I'm at the desk. Don't know why. Couldn't explain it. But he don't like it. He likes it when I'm on the couch. He'll be quiet when I'm on the couch. Okay. Now let's dive into spread. What the hell? This is a guy right here. This is the one. He doesn't like it. Look at this guy. That guy has nothing going on in the brain there. He's just doing his thing. Okay, let's dive into spreads. So, first, let me put up my screen. Give me a second. All right, so you guys can see my screen. Okay, so let's dive into what we kind of did today. First things first, we got spreads. We got call spreads up here. So first, first I'm going to dive into what I did today, and then we'll dive into some things about spreads. So first thing here is we got call spreads right around here. Let me check the exact time at 10:42. So we got call spreads right around in the middle of this candle. To me, it was looking like we were going to head down. In this case, it worked out exactly to perfection. Those call spreads right now are, give me a second. Those call spreads are up over 70%. At one point, they were at just about 90, and I would have taken them off. But for the challenge account, I want to save a day trade, and I feel like we will be perfectly fine going into the end of the day. I will obviously monitor that. But to be clear, basically today I was looking at call spreads. We were looking at a move to the downside. I was not expecting us to go higher after that initial, drop here. And I sold 25,700 and I think 30 calls or 20 calls, and I bought 25,750 calls. Those were a 5%, 95% probability of profit of that trade ending 100% green. So again, we got a 5 delta, 95% probability of profit, worked out perfectly. I also alerted just about an hour and 20 minutes ago at 11:40, which would be this candle right here, actually. Right after this candle closed, I got into a put spread down here. So now I'm in a condor. An iron condor is where I believe the market is going to stay in between a certain area because I have a call spread and because I have a put spread. So I got into a put spread down here. I sold puts that were way under today's low. I sold 25,270 puts and bought 25,240 puts. And we are over 300 points away from that. And those are also 98% probability of profit currently. Those are basically almost 100% right now too. So we got both directions today and it looked perfect. You can see here we have, just a little bit higher high here, but no continuation. So it looks like we're to come back in and we could, possibly support around here at around 7:30 or maybe even around here at 7:15. But I don't think we're going to see a real breakout one way or the other. And if we do, I would probably expect up, but I don't expect anything crazy. So that's going over what I did today, and that netted me over $8,000 in profit just about across everything. Let's see here. No, so actually I netted just over 700 on my actual account, and by the way, this account is just at that 100K mark from 5,000 to 100K in just over a year. It's about 13 months. Our only losing month was in March of last year. And we are starting off 2026 very strong here with just about $3,000. Here is the $4,500 challenge that you guys wanted me to start. We started this just about over a month ago. Sorry, I take that back. A month, just about over a month ago. That's about right. About 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks. And we turned this from 4,500 to 6,700 just about in just that time. A 48% total return. We're averaging just about 22%. We have 2 losses, 26 wins, and you could see the growth here. We have our little dips and continued growth. This is where spreads could literally be a game changer. It is a compounding strategy that could 100% change, a lot of things. You guys have heard me say it before. I know, again, I'm a broken record. I do these all the time, but it is literally a second income for me, spreads. And hopefully it could be a second income for some of you guys as well. I talk about that in 2026. I want to make sure people are looking into spreads. I want to make sure people are trading spreads because, again, this is a strategy that is absolutely phenomenal. So let's kind of dive into what spreads are now. Spreads is basically, instead of directional moves where you're buying a call and you want the price to go up, you need the price to go up, I should say, or you're buying a put and you need the price to go down. Spreads, you don't need a specific move. So for example, if I am in a put spread, okay, we got a put spread down here. A put spread is actually bullish. So I'm getting a put credit spread and that is bullish. I need the price to just stay above a certain price and I make profit. A call credit spread where we got it up here is I was expecting the market to stay down or not go higher than the level that I sold it at. So I just need NDX in this case, or Qs, to stay below a certain price for me to make profit. And then because I opened both of those, a call side and a put side, now it's a condor and I need price to stay in between where I sold those strikes. So it's very simple. Once you trade it a few times, it's just like clockwork. It's literally like this. You just understand it, you get used to it, and it's very simple to make the trades. It's very simple to kind of figure out what to do in certain situations. Everything I do for my 0DT expirations, I am selling just about a 12 or under delta. So around a 5 to 12 delta is where I kind of have made my money. That means I am looking at 88 to 95% probability of profit trades. All you have to do for delta, when you're looking at your brokers, people ask me where I see this probability of profit. All you need to do is do one minus the delta of that sold contract. So if the delta of that contract is 10 cents or 10, it's 1 minus 0.10, and you get a 90% probability of that. So that's where you could find the probabilities of these trades. Okay. If anyone ever wants these trackings with these tracking sheets, just let me know. I could send them over to you, and you could just copy it for yourself. If you ever wanted to trade with us, you could copy trade with us at Peakbot on this link right here. I'll put it in there just so people have it, and then we'll go into the next thing. My dogs are going wild. Don't know why. What the hell? What the hell is going on here? Stop. Oh my God. Hold on. They just knocked my screen off. Give me a second. What the hell just happened? All right, hold on. Give me a second. I will be right back. Woo, these boys. I don't know what they want. Okay. Dog should be taken care of now. Let me get back to where we were. Okay, so how much capital was used? That is a good question. For today's trade, for today's trade, give me a second. Well, I guess let's talk about what I used for my account. So, so because I did $30 wide, if you see, wrong thing. Because I went $30 wide on the call and the put spread, you can see the capital I used here was 20,000 and 15,000 for those two trades. And these are lower than average return on investments, but yeah, that is the capital I used. Okay. So today was my first day trading with BTF. Yesterday my account was too small for it. How do you decide on the width between them? So because VIX is so low, and this is a great question. Let me pull up VIX because this is a really good question. Okay, because VIX is so low, being 1480 is very low. The volatility is obviously lower. The premiums of options are lower because of that. Now, when a month and a half ago, when VIX was at 17 to 18, premiums were higher, and you could, be a little closer on the spread. I have no clue what is going on right now. These guys are going crazy. This is ridiculous. I'm like losing my train of thought. How do you decide on the width? Okay. How do you decide on the width? So, I usually look for premium of about 60 cents or more. And today, for me to be really safe, I had to go 30 wide to get that 60 cents. And again, it worked out perfectly both ends. So it's usually between a 20 or 30 strike difference for me on NDX. I never go higher than that. That's for sure. I never go 40. You can see we're kind of both lagging here, so we could break out here. I may want to watch that call side and just look to take some profits, but we will see as the day goes on. We're up really nice on that call side. Really nice. Okay, so is there any more questions really quick before I go into the next thing? Just let me know. Wow, a lot of things are looking nicer. Hold on just one second. I'm just doing a little deep dive. Oh, you look Microsoft. Look at that. MU. Oh, look at our path, our long-term name. Look at that. Now, this is a great chart here. I mean, look at this. 9 EMA and the 200 SMA right there. Hold on one second. I have no clue what these guys are doing. It's crazy. Okay. What brokers do you prefer for my spreads? That's another great question. You could do Robinhood. I like Thinkorswim or Schwab now. Really, those are some good ones. So Peakbot, it doesn't work with Robinhood. The only brokerage that works for copy trading right now is Tradier. And if you sign up, you'll get $100 for Tradier and 6 months of free options on that. How much of the account? I personally size larger. And the reason for that is I've been doing this for over 6 years. I've been doing it during COVID. I've been doing it before COVID. I've been doing it during big drops and everything else and choppy markets. I just know I just know my risk tolerance. I'm okay with making 1,000 to 1,500 a day, and I'm okay with losing 3,000 because I always do 2x my profit made. So if I'm making 1,000, my stop loss is 2,000, and that's always what I tell people. Do you prefer spreads? I love covered calls. No, there's no. I don't prefer either one. I actually just opened covered calls on Rivian this past week because it was up so much, and I've made money on those. I opened covered calls on Zeta today because it's been up a lot over the past 3 days. I opened covered calls on Oscar because it's been up a lot over the past 3 days. So yeah, I don't prefer one over the other. Yeah, any update on that? I'm still waiting for them to get back to me. We talked and they're looking into it, so I'm just waiting on them to kind of give me an answer on that. Okay, so let's go back into what we were doing now. With the spread, so that's a great question because you kind of got me. Where were you? This one right here. So I want to go back to this. So yeah, I size pretty decently. This is what I tell people. You have to figure out what you are looking for. And what I mean by that is, okay, do you want to make $200 a day? Well, in that case, you have to be able to risk $400 a day. So what are you willing to risk per day and be okay with and say, okay, I'm okay if I lose that. I move on to the next trade and that's that. Because there's always going to be another trade unless you have poor risk management and you just continuously let it drain and drain and drain your money away. That you cannot do. You cannot do that. You have to figure out what you're willing to lose, then you size for that profit, and then 2 times that loss, you just cut it. That's it. You move on to the next trade. And that's coming from someone who has lost a lot of trades and spreads and who has won a lot of trades and spreads. There's always going to be another trade. You just need to have proper risk management, just as you would in any other strategy in trading the market. Yes, I do post covered calls in the VIP Discord. So that 200% risk rule is a key rule, 100% to have. Another thing, now. So my trades again revolve around the charts, the trend, and that probability of profit. So once I see, okay, I expect this to stay above or below a certain spot, I'm going to obviously sell options on that side and then look for the deltas to accommodate that to, get my best probability of success on that trade. Another rule I have is I wait till 10:30 a.m. Eastern to start my trades usually. Sometimes we go a little bit before that. Actually, yesterday's trade was before that because the difference between today and yesterday is when we gap up or down over 1%, I am looking to sell options that way. Yesterday we gapped up over 1%. I sold options and it worked out perfectly. 1 second. Okay. Yes, this strategy is a very high win rate. So again, over 370 trades, I'm hitting 85%. Over 28 trades in this account, I'm hitting 93%. So somewhere between, let's just say, 85 to 88%, win rate. Especially if you do it right, just size appropriately. Yes, it has a good win rate. Can you automatically simulate an add whatever? You mean like you could just put them in your brokerage from like my Discord? Yes, 100%. You can manually enter. If I'm understanding that right, I'm sorry. But if you regarding Peakbot, no, they only allow Tradier for the copy trading. Does anyone else have any questions on those rules? So the 10:30 a.m. rule, the 1% plus gap up or gap down rule, the 200% stop loss, and basically kind of that delta or probability of profit rule. Anything on those before we kind of go ahead? I just want to make sure I kind of cover everything and we get on that the right way. Look at path. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Market's kind of just chopping around right here, just sitting right below the highs. Can you use QQQ? Yes, you could use QQQ. You can use SPY. You could use NDX. You could use SPX. I just stick with QQQ and NDX. If you don't gap, what do you do? Oh yeah, that's just falling. I mean, we didn't really. I mean, we did gap today. It was like 0.1%, but I mean, that's not really a big gap. You just wait for direction. So in this case, we were trending up, but you could see we were stalling out here very hard. Right around that 10:30 mark, we started to see downside, and I looked for call side because also at that time, and we're going to scroll through this for a second so you could see. Look at Apple. Amazon was the only strong name, by the way. Look at Google. Look at Meta. Look at Microsoft. Look at AMD. Look at Nvidia. Look at Netflix, and look at Tesla. Literally, Amazon was the only strong name, big tech name holding the market up. So I started to see weakness. I started to see that Amazon was the only one holding up. I was expecting a down move along with, the rejections that we were getting here. So again, it's looking at what is going on in the broader market and using that to your advantage on your trading. And speaking of Tesla, by the way, hold the phone. I was going to say this looks... No. I have no interest in that yet. Okay, what is your trick on getting a good fill when the NDX spreads are too wide? I've been doing SPX spreads because they're tighter, but NDX, yes, NDX, you can go out further and still collect decent premium. That is correct. So what is my trick? What I do is I basically put an entry right below the mid price. So if the mid price is 0.65, I'll put 0.60. It basically kind of acts as a market order in a way, and it kind of fills you. So that is what I do for that. Same thing if I want to get out. If the mid price is $1, I'm doing $1.10, like stuff like that, to try to get myself in and out, almost like a market order in a way. But always do limits when trading spreads, especially NDX or SPX and anything of that sort. How to put a stop loss on Webull. I'm actually not sure if Webull has stop losses for spreads. I'm not too sure. I don't believe they do. Um, so you can see market's kind of rejecting a little bit here. So again, I'm using the broader market to kind of see what is going on and if I should follow what is going on or if I should kind of go against it. Today I went against it because one, we were getting up to about 0.7% where we kind of are now, because that's where I kind of got my call side. And the market was just looking a little bit weaker. Individual names were not doing that well, and I took advantage of that, and it worked out perfectly. So again, when entering, it's all about looking at what the market's doing and then using that to your advantage to find strikes to sell and make profit on. You just got to be patient. You got to be smart. Do I do these daily? Yes, I trade them basically every day. Doesn't mean I do it every single day. I may not do a day because I don't like how the setups are working, but yes, I look to do a spread every day. Is a trading or stop loss set to your entry price or the copied price? Can you explain that a little bit more? I'm actually a little bit confused on what you're referring to there. I don't have a stop loss on Tradier. I manually do it. But if you could say that again. NDX and SPX spread, which for same day expiration versus next day. So I always do same day. It just has been what I've done for over 6+ years, and it's been phenomenal for me. I mean, I may swing a next day, but if I do that, I usually do that at the end of the day. Now, let's kind of dive into something here on stuff I'd talk about. Look at ASTS. Holy shit. Rivian is stuck in a rock and a hard place here, right in between the 21 and the 9. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, so today, the issue why that happened is because when I entered, we basically dropped on this candle. And we added those adjusting orders, and I guess it just filled right around there. Yes, it would be a little bit different. Yes. which broker uses stop losses. I know Tasty. Oh, sorry. I know Tasty Trade does. I don't really recommend Tasty Trade. I think their commissions is absolutely ridiculous. I know Schwab slash Thinkorswim does. I know E-Trade does. I know Interactive Brokers does. So those are some right there. When choosing the strike price, are you exclusively looking at delta and premium? So I look at delta. I do look at the premium, and then I do think about, okay, I want to go a certain bit out of the money. So, for example, let's kind of use this for an example. The intraday trade that I did, where I sold the put spread, where was it? Okay, that's okay, right here. Okay, the low of the day here is 428. I sold a 270 and a 240. We were at about 488 at that time. So I was getting 200 points out of the money, just about 1% on the index. Okay. So 1% downside on the index. Plus the delta on that was I was making a 95% probability of profit trade, and the premium was just about 50 cents. I got 51 cents. So, um, sometimes I may go a little bit under that premium of like 0.60, but the delta and the strike prices for me were just perfect on that. I mean, we were under the low day. We had a 95% chance of profit, and we were just under my, what I wanted. I mean, 100%, it's just about consistency. The last trade I lost were these two, and I screwed myself a little bit there, but you could see I made it back and more, and we are at all-time highs on the account again. It's just consistency. That's literally all it is. Consistency. Okay, I lost. I take my beating and I move on. This one, it just went really quick, and I kind of just I held it a little bit longer. Funny enough, this one also actually ended full in profit, but I mean, you can't win them all. It's about risk management. And then I just make it back. You wait for those setups, you time them, you enter, you execute, you profit. Again, the only month I lost in was March of 2025. That, again, since I started tracking this, and I'm really happy I started tracking this because this got people more into spreads, and the messages I get from you guys, I can't thank you enough. I'm so happy to be a part of, pushing people in the right direction in trading, because so many people, and including myself when I first started, was getting my ass kicked in trading. Um, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to see anyone fail. Um, so, definitely happy to see all the messages and people making profits trading spreads, because it is really a great strategy. Share SQL doc link. Yes. I'll show you both just in case you wanted to use, well, give me a second. Because some people may like the one with the chart. Some people may like the one with just all the information there. Hold on. Wow. Why am I taking? I couldn't figure out that for a second, twice in a row. And then if interested, you can see both the links to trade with us live on our Discord, or copy trade with us with Peakbot. And look at our call spread. It is looking clean again, like fully clean. You even just have to rate 30-point drop, 20-point drop. Got no worries. Just let it ride and go from there. On the year, in just my wife's account, I am up 1,900 in spreads. And that's in 6 days. Actually, that is in, what is that? That is in 4 days, 3 days of trading, $2,000 on a $30,000 account. Does anyone else have any questions? I don't really have anything else crazy to go about right now. Yes, I've done this before, and honestly, this is something to also kind of think about. Now, I've done this before, and and it's 100% profitable. But when you start to see momentum go against you, listen, I'd rather just get out and cut my losses quicker, than anything else. Because listen, I can make it back much quicker then. Um, whereas in today was perfect. I mean, I had no reason to cut it either way, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. But yes, that is a great question, and yes, I do sometimes cut it before that 200% stop loss. I love you. I love you. This is one of the guys right here. So happy. But other than that, if anyone doesn't have any questions, again, we didn't really do anything crazy. It was just little basic stuff, more so answering questions. Um, but if you guys ever have any questions, always feel free to text me on X. I'm always there to answer any questions. Do I use Heatseeker? Yeah, here and there I do. I don't really use it that much for the spreads, no. The margin is big. Well, you don't actually use the margin. So, yeah, you don't use the margin. You need a margin account and you need level 3 options, but you do not use the margin. So, I don't know if that's the right thing to say more so, but Lucky Day Lab. I know one guy's going to be happy. Yeah. Oh, yo, what's up, Baba? Yeah, it was nothing crazy. We just went over a little bit, answered a, bit of questions. But yeah, I mean, if anyone has any questions, please let me know. Again, if you have any questions that you can't think of right now, just send me a DM or Discord, and I will always answer everything. If you are on here, you know that for sure. I always answer anything. I do not let anyone just die in the abyss because I wouldn't want people to do the same to me. What is the advantage of signing up with Peakbot? If you're interested and just wanted to fully copy trade and not really manually do anything. That's up to you if you were interested in that. It literally copies my entries and exits, and that's basically it. Well, yeah. Again, I'm doing NDX, so it is a little more expensive. I always suggest to people like 5,000 or 3 to 5,000 is really the best way to go for spreads. It's to start off with. Look at Path, man. This is beautiful. Look at this weekly 9 EMA and 200 SMA, and we are bolting off of it. Then we have Zeta, which is coming in, which I don't mind because I want to add a lot more, even though I already have a lot. Yes, okay. Yeah, if you have any questions, you could text Bobby. I'm really glad to hear that. Really glad to hear that. MNQ thoughts right now. Right now, we just have to watch this. I mean, if we hold above 745, we could lead a little bit higher, but I don't expect a crazy move going into the rest of the day. Again, we could trend higher and just, slowly walk up, but I don't think we're going to get a crazy move. And if we don't Trend higher, we're just going to chop in between. We're not going to see a new low day. We're just going to chop in between or just trend a little bit higher. What do I think of ASTS for a trade? Right now, hell no. 3 days up in a row. We were long this around 70 right here. Right here. These two candles right here. And you see this big massive move here from 72, 73 all the way to 96. I would not get a long here. You are buying $20 up from the 21 EMA in 3 days in a row, and there will be some exhaustion at some point very, very soon. They could tap for new highs, but again, the risk to reward going long right here is not that great. I wouldn't even go short either because, again, they could test new highs and they could just drain you out. Um, yeah, other than that, yeah, we do swing trades and day trades. Honestly, I think I'm going to be doing a lot more swing trades going forward for and this is, me being honest. Over the past few weeks, I just have not been doing the best in options trade, like actual options trading, and it's very frustrating. So I actually took the next 2 to 3 days off on that because this whole rest of the week and the weekend, I'm going to be going over my options trades for the past month and really dive into what's been going on because I have been just not doing a great job. It has been poor. And trading over 10 years and having real good success in options trading, I have no clue what I've been doing over the past few weeks. So I want to dive into myself, look into those trades, and see what I've been doing wrong. So yes, we do day trades and swings, but just for the next few days, I'm not going to be personally doing it other than spreads. Yeah, that's a good question. Is there a time of day you would typically not enter spreads after? I don't really like to do it after 12, really. Just usually the premiums are kind of died down by then. But that's about it. And to kind of go on about that, the theta increasing is actually good for us because it burns quicker and our contracts would go to zero quicker. But I usually there's just not enough premiums, around 12 plus. So that's basically it. Other than that, I am gonna hop off here. If you guys have any questions, message me on Discord, message me on X. If you guys are interested in the copy bot, you could check it on those sheets. If you're interested in just trading with us live every day, you can join our Discord. I hope everyone has a great day. We are going over a Zeta. We're going to be on the Zeta live at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. One of my favorite long-term names. They are having have an interview with Dan Ives at the CES conference. So I will catch you guys at 5:30.